Hello, welcome to our today's class. Today we are doing an example on income statement. We said income statement is also known as trading profit and loss account, and we have an example here of a trial balance that we will extract our income statement from. Our trial balance has two parts, that is the debit and credit side, and they must balance. As you can see in the total figures here, they have balanced. So for us to prepare income statement from the trial balance, we need to know why do we prepare income statement. And the reason why we prepare income statement is to get the net profit. And we say the net profit in our previous video where we gave an extract of the income statement. We said net profit is given by the gross profit, adding any other income, then you subtract expenses. So that's that. The net profit is given by, so net profit given by the gross profit plus any other income, and all that you'll subtract the expenses. Then gross profit on the other side is given by the sales or net sales, then you subtract the cost of sale. So we will adjust sales, then adjust the cost of sales to get the gross profit. So this is a formula that we'll use in our extraction from the trial balance to prepare income statement. So let's start in the preparation of the income statement. So the first thing we'll check is we'll check whether we have the sales. And you can see here we have the sales. Sales are here. That is 186. So we are preparing on this side. This side we have given you the title of that account. In any account that you are preparing, remember to make sure that you have a title, and our title is Pasco Trader, as you can see given in our trial balance, Pasco Trader. Then what nature of the account is income statement, then the period or the date for the year ended, that 1st September 2021. So let's begin by putting our sales here in the last column, amounting to 186,000. Then we have said we adjust the sales. If there's something to adjust the sales, then you can adjust it so that you can have in our process of finding the gross profit. We said it is net sales, you subtract cost of sales. So the sales, do we have any adjustment to the sale? One of the what adjust sales is the return in ones or sales return. So we check in our trial balance where we have something of that nature, and it is here, which is 2050. So we have return in ones, return in ones, we need to subtract. So return in ones amounting to 2050. So that's our sale. So what we get here after we do the subtraction of the sales, you less the return in ones, then you get net sales. So net sales will be, so you less that one, and you will get 183,950. That's our net sale. Then after you have done that, then we go to adjustment of the other part. So you have net sales, so we get the cost of sale. So we need to less cost of sales. And what constitutes the cost of sale? Cost of sales include the stock, and we have different nature of stock. As far as this process is concerned, we have the opening stock, that is stock at the beginning of the business period. We have the purchases, those are the stock during the period of operation, or you have added more you have purchased more stock and we have the closing stock. This is the stock at the end of the business period. So we'll adjust that, and that's what will give us the cost of sale. Adjusting, so we start with the opening stock. And if you can check here, our period is ending at 31st September 2021 here, 1st September 2021, and in our trial balance we have the stock on 1st October 2020. So this is before or at the beginning of the business. So we have the opening stock, which is here amounting to 23,680. So let's put it in the center column so that we can adjust it with the purchases, so which is 23,680. So we adjust it with the purchases. Do we have purchases during the period? So purchases, so check whether you have purchases. Yes, we have purchases, which is amounting to 118,740. We put it in the first column for adjusting the purchases, or what affect the purchases. So we have 118,740. That's our purchases. What affect purchases? Purchases can be affected by, one, if we have carriage inward, or the stock that's carriage inward, we are carrying the stock to the store or to the business. The other thing is freight charges. If, for instance, where you have imported the goods. So in our case here, if we can check, we have carriage inward. Yes, carriage inward is here. So carriage inward, we earned carriage inward, which amount to carriage inwards amount to that 100. So after we earned that, we check we don't have the freight charges or that can add the purchases. So we sum this up, and when we sum, we get 121,840. So then from there we less the, or we subtract any other adjustment to the purchases, which is the return outward. That is the stock that we had bought from the supplier, and now we return to the supplier. So it is reducing the purchases. So we less return outwards, which is already here. Return outwards amounting to 3220. So 220. So we less that, and the amount that you'll get down here will be the cost of goods available for sale. That is, if the adjustment we have from the purchases, we add carriage inwards, we less return outward. Then from what we have there, then the total of that we earned to the opening stock, so that we can have the goods available for sale. So the total of this, if you take 121,840, you less the return outward. So you're supposed to less this. So let me put it in brackets so that it can be seen as something to subtract. So we less the return outward. The amount we get here, it is the adjusted purchases. Then we will add it to the opening stock to get goods available for sale. So the total of this is giving us 118,620. And if you adjust that, we earned 23,680, the value of opening stock, and 118,620, the amount of adjusted purchases. What we get here, it is 142,300. So this is what we are calling cost of goods available for sale. So from there, the other part is to check whether you have the closing stock, so that we can adjust it from opening stock and purchases, or from the cost of goods available for sale. So you less the closing stock. Closing stock is usually on the additional information. It's not part of this period, so you'll find always it will be on additional information if it exists here. If it doesn't exist, then it is assumed that there was no stock at the end of the period. So we will less the closing stock, less closing stock, amounting to 29,416. So if you less that one, what we get here is what we call the gross, not the gross, but what we get here, then we are supposed to transfer it to the column number 3, so that we can have a formula complete, whereby we say net sales, you less cost of sales, then you get gross profit. So the total that you are getting from this adjustment, we call it the cost of sale. The cost of good available for sale, you subtract closing stock, you get the cost of sale, which I've said it, we have given it a title here. So the cost of sale here, it's amounting to 112,840. So we need to subtract these from the sales to get the gross profit. So that is it. So then we less that, and what we get here down here will be the gross profit. Gross profit, so amounting to 71,110. So that's our gross profit. So that's part number 1, getting the gross profit. And we have said now from there we can now get the net profit, whereby net profit is given by the gross profit. You earned any other income, then you subtract expenses that exist during that period. If we can check in our trial balance here, I'm checking for any other income, and I cannot spot any. So meaning I don't have any other income, then you have to less the expenses. Less expenses. So the expenses, then we can start from the list here on all the expenditure, all expenses that are here. We have just one after another. We have salary and wages, salaries and wages. The amount to salary and wages amount to 38,620. We also have carriage outward. This is the transportation of the sales. So when the moment you made the sales, then you have to transport the customer or the debtors. That's carriage outward. So it is an expense. Carriage outward amounting to 2,000. So we also have rent, which is given here. We have rent, which is an expense. It's not written income, therefore we treat it as an expense, which is 3,014. Then we have insurance. Insurance amounting to 780. Then we also have motor expenses amounting to for the expenses amounting to 6,640. We also have office expenses amounting to 2,160. What else? Check here. We also have lighting and heating expenses. So lighting and heating expenses, so amounting to lighting and heating expenses, it amount to 1,660. So we also have general expenses amounting to 3,140. So that's those are expenses that are there, so we can add them. This one, which seems to be supposed to be in bold, so they're supposed to be uniform. Let me remove this bolding here so that they may appear uniform. I think I can bold the expenses, less expenses, that it can appear. Cost of goods available for sale, these are total of something, something like that. So net sales. So if you can check now, we have expenses which are here, so we less them from the gross profit that is there. So we transfer there, then we subtract them. The total amount of these expenses is 58,040. So that's all the expenses. So we subtract these from the gross profit, and what we get here is what we are calling the net profit. And the net profit in our case is 13,070. So that's a net profit. We can bold these because it's a summation. So this is a net profit. You can put this in bold so it can appear better there. So it's a net profit, and this is how you prepare an income statement or trading profit or loss account. So from this point, now we can go to the next part, which is the preparation of balance sheet or statement of financial position as indicated in our second question here. But first of all, I'll show you how to prepare the structure of a balance sheet or that statement of financial position. Then from that point, you can be able to prepare that account comfortably. We'll still use the same example. We extract from the same trial balance to get the balance sheet. Thank you very much. Remember to subscribe to this channel, and you'll be updated always. Once we have something new, you'll be the first person to enjoy. Thank you very much.